I wanted to talk tonight about social media. Social media has its pros and its cons. One of the biggest pros is that you can connect with people. You can interact with those you haven't seen in a long time, and you can definitely reach out and have a lot of control over it. It's a way to really snoop without anybody really knowing that. And it's a way for you to create an image for yourself that maybe people don't know about. Or sometimes, like, if you're creative, it's a creative outlet. I personally have variouses of social media. I am on Instagram. I don't go on Instagram too often, of course, here on YouTube, but also on Facebook. And I would say that across the platforms, I'm known as the Peruvian Princess. And yes, I was born in Peru, thus the reason I am the Peruvian Princess, which really cracks me up, by the way, because sometimes people will be like, were you born in Peru? And I'm like, nah, I just picked a country and decided that's where I was from. Yes, I'm from Peru. I was born there. So I am Peruvian. On social media, let's see. On Instagram, I think I'm #1 Peruvian Princess. I could be wrong, but that's one. The other is actually my handle on my channel on YouTube is My Life with Kidney Disease with the Peruvian Princess. What else? Let's see. And then on Facebook, it's Peruvian Princess. Yep, that's it. So on Facebook, though, I have various other things. Like, my first name is Susita, so I manage a monthly pop-up shop that happens at Rockabilly Grill, which has been phenomenal, by the way. So I have that. And then I have Inez's Boutique, which is basically my group that was created, so when I sell stuff, it can be like my boutique items that I'm creating and making. That one does not get a lot of action because I've just not been so focused on creating and showing off what I do. But that's going to get better, and I'm going to work on that. And then I have Inez's Media Production, which is where I use, so that platform basically is where I video and create these live feeds and videos and reels and stories for the jammers. So, am I a business of media production? No. But I am under that name. I'm under that umbrella because those are the actions that I do. And so tonight, I had a lady was talking to me, and do you ever have that friend who's not really a friend, but you keep them kind of close to you because you know that you want to kind of keep an eye on them? Well, that's pretty much our relationship. And tonight she was saying how she was working with a certain band and helping them to launch themselves into the music industry here in Tucson, which is really great. Like, I have no problem with that. Like, I don't own anybody, and I'm not going to be controlling or anything like that over whoever's helping who. But what was weird is that she was like, yeah, I'm not going to be a fake production company. And I was like, oh my God, is she talking shit about me? Which, if you know me, you know that I maintain a very large poker face. And so, you know, we just continued with the conversation as if she hadn't said that. And now on the ride home, I'm thinking, what did she mean by that? And how insulting and passive-aggressive. And also, like, what business is it of hers what I'm doing in my own little world? Because I'm creating what I want to create. And so I wonder if anybody out there has also ever felt that sting of judgment or condemnation about things that you do. You know, I'm really not an art lover. I'm just going to be very honest about that. I don't really find a lot of art to be attractive to me, but I have learned to not be judgmental about people's art and to keep my mouth shut, because the art is their creation. It's a part of who they are. Just like in music, like you take one guitar player and you put him against another guitar player, and what they're creating, even if they are playing the same notes, will be their own creation and sound. And I think that's how, or when I realized that I should not be judgmental about what people are personally creating. And I just laugh, because I think, wow, you know, I'm proud of myself because I've grown into this person who's like, this is your art, this is what you do, you stand by it, and I love it. I think it's great. It's who you are. Even if it's not something that I would do, it's cool to see that, right? But I just couldn't believe that she said that to me. And realistically, she's not doing nothing to help this other band that they have not done for themselves. But I think she's just lonely and doesn't have somebody in her corner to give her the kudos and the attention that she's striving for. And so I just try to be that person who's like, oh wow, that's awesome, even though in my head I'm like, you big fat liar, that's not even truth. But you know, on the other hand, I'm like, oh well, if that's what she sees she's doing, then whatever. But then I'm also like, don't come at me. I don't deserve that. Like, what I created, what I do is my own art. And so I had this job a couple years back where I was trying to gain who I was on Facebook, on my personal profile, because I do at times feel like I have multiple personality because of the different people inside of me that can pop out at times, and that's a whole nother story. I do not have multiple personality, but I feel like that's the best way to describe how I feel. But I was trying to figure it out, and I don't even want to call her a friend necessarily, but this person told me, this is your art. And she was an artist herself, and I thought she was a phenomenal artist. And what she created and painted was so cool. But she told me, this is your art. Whatever you are creating, nobody could steal from you. So you stand on what you believe when you create it. And you don't have to explain it to anybody. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to show it off. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't need validations. You are creating what you want to create. And I felt like there was such power in that. And I have held on to that for years. And I want to say it's been like 20, 25 years since I've heard that. And remarks, I think it doesn't matter, because this is my art. And this is how I don't get personally destroyed when criticism comes my way. Sometimes most of the time, I really do take a moment to listen to a criticism. Usually it's reading the criticisms, because that's what happens on social media, right? Nobody wants to have that face-to-face confrontation. They want to hide on the computer or the phone. But when those comments come up, I just brush them off, because it's like, no, this is my art. This is who I am. This is my life with kidney disease. It's not your life. Your life could look completely different, and that's great. But my life, this is how my life looks. And so I just want to encourage those of you out there who are on social media, especially, or just living life, however your kidney disease looks, it's you, it's your life, and it's beautiful. And when those naysayers come along, and especially them passive-aggressive folks that like to pick at us, don't even give it any mind. Don't even give it any minutes, because who you are is so valuable. And what you're creating is just another spicy thing to add to the pot of what the world is. And I just want to encourage everybody to not get discouraged when things like that happen, which can be very difficult, because sometimes it ends up being people we love and are connected with, like maybe a parent, maybe a child, maybe a sibling, whoever it may be, may not see the biggest part of your value, but F them. You can do it. You're still needed and wanted and valuable, and you don't have to prove your worth to anybody. Certainly not to me. So, anyways, that's me tonight, feeling my frustrations, but also great humor, so it is what it is. All right, I'm eating Donnie and IHOP because we're both starving, and they have a big steak omelet, and that's what I'm super hungry for, so that's what we're getting. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.